It looks like it's started in my end. Hi, so
Hi.
I hope you had a good weekend. What we're going to talk about today, I thought we both found merit in, is optimizing your search if you're looking for a
Yes.
new role.
Yeah. Good idea.
And I've definitely got my thoughts on this. So I think for me, and I'm sure you agree, and I think you do because we've had this conversation before, working with a recruitment partner such as Trapeze is brilliant, but you actually have to really build and collaborate. It's not simply, for me anyway, about sending a CV in and saying, hi, I'm looking for a job, contact me if anything comes up. Clearly, that's not going to help in terms of we don't know any of their criteria, we don't know salary requirements, we haven't brought the person alive, we don't know, what makes them tick, their achievements, really what they're looking for, or anything else. So for me, that's kind of a bit of a pointless activity from their side. What I find helps me when I want to try and consider them and keep them front of mind is when they check in with us and just kind of keep that continual conversation going, which equally we do with them. Really bring alive what's made them tick in terms of a conversation, whether we meet them face to face for coffee or Teams or whatever, and the challenges that they've relished or haven't relished, and then that criteria of the role. So those are all obvious things, but I think for me it's really about that collaboration, that in a sense, I know we're not interviewing them like a potential client for us and a job, potential job for them, but in a sense it's about showing us how great they are and can be. So when we're thinking of them, we can compare to other people we might be shortlisting.
I totally agree. And I think what many people underestimate is, I mean, this is it's a really important role that your recruiter plays in helping you find your next career move. Massive deal.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you just said, the conversation, the dialogue that we develop with people that we are keen to represent, we become their mouthpiece when we talk to a client about, you should definitely consider this individual, they've got great experience in XYZ, and what we can bring to life is those career highlights, the personality traits, the behaviors, the work ethic, stuff that a CV can't tell you. And if we've spent time getting to know that person, one of us, both of us, or often we know one person better from old and we introduce them to the other, in our case, I think it's a really underestimated relationship, the one you have with your recruiter, because they are your window on opportunities, and that dialogue that we then have with a client as to why we think these individuals are super suitable for your opportunity. So yeah, I think it's an underestimated relationship that has to be worked on, like any
Exactly, like any relationship. And on the flip side, it's an emotive thing, looking for a job, whether you're in a job or looking whilst you're in a state of kind of between. So actually building trust and building some sort of relationship is helpful for the independent person, because actually we can feel their challenges and frustrations when something doesn't go quite their way. And again, on that side of kind of that relationship piece, it's building the trust so they're front of mind. And I have one candidate or individual who emails me quite regularly, and I love it. I know exactly where Joe's going to be. It's always just, hi, how are you, just checking in. I know you probably haven't got anything because you would have contacted me, but just wanted to be at the forefront of mind. And absolutely, she's part of my talent pool, so to speak, so I would always consider her. But actually just having those nice check-ins shows the diligence and the fact that she is as driven and proactive as she could be on her search when she's working with me.
But I think it's also that not saying that we have favourites, but the candidates and the individuals in our community who keep in touch with us, whether they are looking for a new role or not, are the people that are more memorable in some ways, because they're touching base. They might send us an article or send us a suggestion of someone we might want to have as a webinar host, and it makes us realise that they don't just see us as the people that will help them find their next move, that we are a friend to them, and they are looking out for us, and it's sort of mutually beneficial relationship.
It's community, isn't it? It's community. I have my view on this, and I know you do, but to ask you outright, is your opinion that when someone is looking for a role, that they simply register with recruitment partners, whether it be 1 or 5 or whatever? Again, I have a view on that. Or is your view that they should also be looking proactively directly with businesses and applying to those?
I think in a market like now, which is particularly challenging for a number of different reasons. I think you need to spread the net wide and keep your relationships nice and sort of warm and ongoing with your recruiters, but also your own network, making sure that you're going to events and whether that's online or in person, and keeping your own network of knowledge and what's going on in the market live and current, because obviously that keeps you in tune with what's going on, what opportunities are coming up, and yeah, building your own little community. I think it's really important.
So let's say all that goes well and you have a great relationship with your recruiter, and again on that point, I always think it's good to register or speak to a couple, but maybe diluting it more than that. For me, there are quite a similar group in the market, so actually sometimes it can be seen as spreading yourself thin, and if you're trying to really build that relationship, then time might be invested in a handful or less. Let's say you have that relationship and then your recruitment partner, in this case us, or another, gives you some feedback on your CV, because I am amazed, even the senior level people who have been in positions themselves where they're hiring, so they've seen many CVs, they know what they like to see from a CV. What they ask us, does this look okay, or what they omit from their CV, but they tell you, and you're like, well, that's amazing, but you haven't actually evidenced any of this in your CV, which is great for a conversation with us. But actually, if you were looking to apply for a job directly, or if there was an opportunity where I wasn't representing you, how would the potential employer see that you've done that? So I'm amazed at what people don't know about how to present themselves on a CV. So is it important in your view that they ask and potentially that they listen? I don't know.
I think people that ask us for feedback on how they've crafted their experience on their CV, how they've left things in, taken things out, their sort of summary paragraphs, how long should it be, the layout and structure. I think people that are interested enough to ask and open enough to ask for feedback from people who see a lot of candidate CVs every day is a really important sign of someone's botheredness about how their experience looks on paper. And I'm always quite surprised at how, I don't think it sounds a very positive word, but quite naive some people sound when they have maybe been in HR or in recruitment in HR for 30 years, but yet they don't know how to apply some of their own knowledge to their own CV.
But that's the assumption from us as well. I should never assume that just because someone has done something for a while or is more experienced that they will know the answer. And it's a bit like recruiters. They all say, oh, I'm the worst person when I look at my CV, yet we see CVs every day. So I think it is about thinking that someone else could potentially add and help then with your own sales pitch, because essentially a CV is just that, isn't it? Trying to summarize quite quickly when someone to kind of client size is viewing your CV, what you've done and where you might fit in terms of their business.
I think something that I did when I was looking for sort of HR roles was I would ring up my 2 or 3 sort of favourite recruiters, this is some time ago now, and ask their opinion on potential employers, because there's a strong possibility that that recruiter probably has a knowledge of that business, that hiring manager, that sort of senior HR person, and also we've had it sort of a few times, I think, when people in our talent pool have been faced with maybe a couple of offers and they're not sure what to go with or whether either of the roles that they've been offered are right for them, people come to us for our opinion, which is really flattering and positive that people value our perspective. But I think you can, in the right way, use your friendly recruiters for feedback, intel, due diligence, constructive criticism. And the person that isn't interested in someone giving some feedback on their CV is an interesting in itself, particularly if they haven't been looking for a role for a while, or they've been in one role for a long time and they haven't interviewed for a while.
Well, ultimately we all want the same solution. We want to be able to give them an idea of the types of individual roles out there and hopefully see them through a process and support them, and they are looking for a job. So I guess it's all for the same, if you like, cause or focus at the end. to be able to find. Brill, I'm just looking down. I made a list of things, but I think for me, collaboration, connectivity, you know, we're quite good at connecting our network, whether they're in jobs or job seeking, just having that connection, which I know is the same as networking, but I guess networking has more of a formalized ring to it. Connectivity is actually you're kind of all peers within the same function, with the same potential challenges, or being able to knowledge share. So for me, that's really important. And to build relationships with people that you need. But if you don't need them at that one time, it's not about the emphasis of when you need them. It's about continual relationship. You know, everyone, we're all busy, but we get a lot more people coming through to us who are looking for jobs than we do jobs. That's just the nature of any recruitment business. So therefore, to be, like anything in life, on someone's radar, more obviously, or at the front of their kind of list, if you like, in their mind, it's about making sure that they think of you. And to make sure they think of you is because you've kept up conversation. And equally, our side, I think we're good at doing that. But for me, that's part of a job hunt, making sure you're being proactive in the market yourself, looking at jobs, applying, having conversations, networking, collaboration, and working really closely with whichever recruitment partners you've chosen to be able to have a chance to succeed.
And maximising your chances of getting that next great opportunity. Some tiny little top tips that I think we come across quite regularly. How you name and save your CV. Mine would be Jane Middleton, February 2024. If I was updating my CV today, because that is obviously who I am, when it is, and then you then send that to Trapeze HR, you're making it very sort of clear, obvious, and everything around just filing candidate details, and it's these little things that just make the job that much easier for, and that's also if you're applying directly to something.
We have seen cover letters for other people, haven't we? Or CVs named by you know, another recruitment firm or templates, which is okay for us, but if you were sending it direct to a client, it wouldn't look great.
So it's an attention to detail thing around presenting your best self, whether that's on paper or at interview. I think our next sort of planned chat topic is probably around interviewing, just because we talk about interviewing processes and protocols and questions a lot, and it makes sense for us to share our sort of opinion and if people want to hear it, our advice on how to handle those.
Brilliant. All right.
All good.
Until next time.
See you later.
See you later.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.